Okay, so the goober car is dead, but it's okay because we got a new engine for the goober car. It's technically the correct engine. Wonder where that came from. But now we have to remove the engine from the goober, put the engine in the goober. So we're going to start that.
I already drained all the oil.
See the crash bar, it's attached to the exhaust. Right there, I think. And I bought the best $9 tool I could purchase to remove it. There we go. Exhaust hanger removed. Except that part that's still attached to the O2 sensor little bracket guy. Muffler. How to get this off? That's how. Oh. No wonder it's making noises. battery died. So if for some reason you're using this as a guide, there is a single bolt, if you still have the OEM heat shield, that connects it to the engine bay on top of the four or five studs. See? Bolt. How do I get this out? Take it out the back. We're not going to talk about how long removing the air conditioning took me. Now I have to find a fuel line, wherever that is. Probably be easier once I take out a bunch of this stuff. My deepest apologies for the breaking continuity. I removed these wires and disconnected the fuel line at the back. I was covered in gasoline, so I didn't feel like changing the battery when it died. Onward. All right, now I gotta get the, now I gotta get the throttle cable off and get this water hose. I believe that's the only one. I'm so glad this is in a very visible, easy to see location, easy to work on. Oh, well, I got it out. Excellent. What invariable intentional technique? I think that's everything. Analytics to exhaust. That's legible, and I'll remember that. So rather than unhooking this and that, I can just do this since it drops out from under. But that's probably full of coolant. Where's my... It's under. Cool. Oh. Empty. Ho ho ho. Let's see, can we squeeze some stuff out of the way? You know, maybe pull that over here. Oh yeah. Zip tie that bad boy up. Enjoy the trip. This is all coming off way too easy for a 20-year-old car. Somebody's been in here. Oh, is it just... Oh, it's just already... Again, way too easy. Where did I put the camera? Oh, it's right there. So you guys are getting the, you know, the top tier view. Okay, so I have taken the engine mounts out because it's a huge pain in the ass. It's just 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. The engine, I'm pretty sure, is loose, except for the CV shafts, and that one is also torn. Unfortunate. I don't have that part, and I'm not dealing with it right now. Oh, that's what the fuck it was stuck on. Okay, so we left the engine there on the ground because I got mad at it and it hurt me. So we're gonna figure out how to get it over there. And then we're gonna figure it out. Now you might be saying, why would you do this the stupid way when you have the load distributor and everything? It's because I'm not smart. It's truly that simple. Look how much better that is. Let's see if we can lift it up more properly now. We're still leaning on the back because I don't have anything holding the back up. But that's okay because we're just gonna put that there. Be sure to grab your random piece of OSB. Very important mechanics tool, even if you only pretend to be one. Right now I gotta get all this off the transmission. That way I can disconnect everything and separate it. Okay, so now I need to strip this entire donor engine to take all the stuff off that engine, put it on here. Because even though they're the same block, there's just enough little differences, like no power steering pump, no, probably different alternator. The bracket here is 100% different for the engine mount. So we're gonna take all this off, make careful note of what everything is, take the old harness off. Oh, that's just not even there. Perfect. And just swap over. Quality wiring by the previous owner. Absolutely salvageable, savable, keeper engine. Fun fact, that's 14 is not the right size, but it apparently works, so. There we go. Let's take a look at the flywheel once they're in there, but assuming it's not just terrible, we'll just use it. And I'm going to pretend I know what a good flywheel looks like. Doesn't look terrible, doesn't look great. Not catching my fingernails. We'll run it again. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to take your old and busted MR2 engine and get your new hotness Celica GT engine converted over. So for the most part, everything can stay, but there's some odds and ends, like, believe it or not, the exhaust manifold needs to go, the engine mounts need to change, but things like the water pump and this tensioner can stay. But we'll figure out some odds and ends and all that fun stuff. We'll maybe see if we can keep this hook, but I don't think so. The goal is going to be to disassemble this and then take everything one by one from here to there. All right, now using a 12 and a 14, you can slide your nut through the back rather. Put that on there and put your nut back on your bolt, assuming everything's nice and clean, which mine is not. As I was saying, nubby on the back, bolt through the back, nut on the front. Then this goes to 27 foot-pounds. Well, just snapped my valve cover. $53 foot-pounds, allegedly. Cool, close enough. I'm not doing any more of that. Alright, so when you weren't looking, I found that this off of the donor engine was actually the correct part number off the original. So we are going to use the new one because it's not full of oil and soot, has a fresh gasket, etc. Still going to use the original throttle body just because I don't want to try and match and take all that off and everything. This must have been originally an MR2 engine, because I believe even the Celica GT had a different intake manifold part number, but I don't know for certain. Throttle body coolant hoses. Got to preheat your throttle body, very important. 22 foot-pounds. I think it's time to fix my biggest mistake and do this. All right, Elite Gamers, we did an oopsie. There's supposed to be a tab here that lines up with this that holds this beautiful pulley in place with this spacer that I forgot to put on. So I snapped it off. So I'm going to show you how to not fix it, but how I'm going to convince myself it's fixed just enough to get this car running. All right, mixing some high temp JB Weld. This is just to hold everything in place, and I'm going to mix probably way more than I need just to make sure I have enough. Smells like a pet store. Now you're supposed to clean your surface, degrease it, make sure it's beautiful and ready for epoxy, and I didn't do any of that at all. Again, this just needs to, for me anyways, hold it in place enough to let the steel that I purchased do its job. Plus, this is only going on the timing cover, which is a replaceable part. And this only has a 5-minute work time, so you're not in a rush, but you're not exactly made of time either. And that's in there. And now, I am not putting my pulley on there. Last thing I want to do is accidentally epoxy my pulley in place. Now, finger tight, that's held in place. I'm going to clean off some extra squidge out to make sure we don't have any interference or clearance issues. That's it. We're going to give this 24 hours to cure, as that's what the package recommends. So realistically, I'll probably come back out here tomorrow afternoon, begin engine reassembly while this finishes curing. It's time to do ground clutch. Only the best clutch you can do on the ground. All right, now we've got gearbox side going towards the gearbox. Okay, cool. That's just on. Held in place. All right, that's everything to 15 foot-pounds with thread locker. All right, gamers, you previously saw me struggle to put this on there. I realigned the clutch like 3 times, and then we eventually got there. So just realign your clutch a bunch. That's the solution to this problem. And there's nothing wrong with the advice I've just given you. This seems to be holding up pretty well, though no strain has been put on it yet, so we'll see if we need the steel or not at some point. And I figured out that this is absolutely a Celica engine because it comes with this drain. So it lets you drain coolant out from the side of the engine block, and as far as I know, the MR2 engines do not have this. I wonder if that's a problem. Probably not. All right, I'm gonna take this off, put some more bolts in, torque them down, and put them in the car. That car. Wonder what those are. Lovely little jumping spider trying to be a tool. Looks less than ideal, but it's the one we're going to use. And since it's going to be easier while we're out, spark plugs. And because this is just a Corolla engine, everything is cheap. I think those spark plugs were like $6 per. And they're nice. That's not great, but we're just going to pretend it's not happening. Because who knows what's been going on with this engine since it's been sitting. Oil could have gotten in there. We got some sludge on the outside, so could have just something that drained through. But these are Bosch, so whoever put them in didn't cheap out. So now, how in the world am I going to get this up? Because it's angled back, and I'm an idiot, so it's going to be the biggest problem, is overcoming that issue. I guess I can use the back motor mount, put that on, use that motor mount, kind of just lean it forward. So put the engine in, and I was going to take the hood off, just to make this easier. Got this out, lost that screw, it's somewhere down there. And then on this side, I tightened both of them until they broke, because I'm an idiot, so the hood's not coming off. But I got it off without the hood coming off, so we're just gonna make it happen. Alright, gamers. So this is now here, because I spent an hour fiddling with all this. I took out this engine mount because I hooked the chain through the engine mount. So, that's not gonna fit anymore. And then I've got a jack under here to keep this vaguely level so I can get this mount into the holes down here that are right there. So we're close enough that if I can just wedge this back a little, lift it up, get it started, lift the butt up, get a different mount in, we should get something. And Catherine's here. She's one of the random cats that lives around here. She's not my cat, but she's supervising. Alright, I'm going to use you guys Blue's Clues style to let me know when I'm really close. Okay, that's exactly where we want to be. You guys suck at holding on, you know that, right? You keep having to put your back, make sure you're where you need to be. Now where is my big wrench? Alright gamers, I don't remember where I left us, but I had to loosen that, take that off to get that in, and now everything's finger tight except the front motor mount, which we're going to work on next. That way I can remove the jack and everything will be good to go after this gets tightened down. Right, and nothing more electrical can go in until we put oil in here and there, because I will start it accidentally. That'll be bad. Alright gamers, step one is to put the axles in the vehicle, fill the transmission with fluid, fill the engine with fluid, do a bare minimum electrical to make sure it all starts. Let's get to it. Oh, and a belt, which I don't know where my belt was, so I'm probably going to use the old belt, but that's annoying. Alright gamers, oil time. We already put in the transmission like you saw, 2 quarts. Capacity is 2.2, but there was probably residual. I'm not worried about it. Oil, we are bone dry and have been dry the whole time. I'm thinking probably the full 4.5 to start and not even think about measuring from there. But only the finest actual Valvoline Restore and Protect. Real oil this time because this is a real engine. Oh yeah, right at full on the dipstick. Now ladies and gentlemen, I bring only the sauciest news here momentarily. Project Farm approved seafoam going in the crankcase. 4 ounces for 4 quarts of motor oil. Well, it's technically a little over 4, so we're going to do a little under. And we'll do a little love. Oh, excellent. It did come with the service loops. I was going to be afraid that I was going to go buy some and lose another day. And they're not pretty, but they'll do. Now these loops are so you can bleed the coolant effectively. because these make the two high points of the system when the car's level. You open a valve here and here, and then you start filling in the back. All right, gamers. Now using only the finest concentrated coolant I could buy at the AutoZone, we're gonna mix it in here and slowly fill. Because I don't have a mixing vessel with a spout, so we're doing the next best thing. Now for my particular applications, I need about 2 gallons total. So I don't need to be super particular, because in the end, both good jugs are going to go in completely. I'm just looking to have it actually mixed when it goes in there instead of having to mix as it goes through. For 60 ounces, that's about the first quarter, little less. That's slowly going down, because it's going straight into the reservoir and flooding straight to the front of the car. And while I probably won't show this, you do need to squeeze the tubes up front to bleed the air out of them. Oh, I've got a coolant leak. Where do I have a coolant leak? All right, gamers, we lost battery and it was dark, but we fixed the leaky pipe. We missed a clamp. It's on now. Topped up the coolant with a little bit of distilled water, maybe a cup, so we're still pretty close to 50-50. And now we are going to reinstall the battery, the computer, and give her a few dry cranks. I'm going to pull the fuel injector fuses, which is right here, EFI 1 and EFI 2, because the fuel pump just runs. Hook it up, build oil pressure, give her a go. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, terminals disconnected. Found the loose thing I didn't actually plug in. Put it on. Good enough for now. Now we try and crank. And that is all for now. We still got a lot of work to do, but I think we're gonna call it here.